It is no doubt that Kenya is experiencing a sugar crisis, and many households find that as a headache. And to add insult to injury, it has been made known that contraband sugar is making way into our shelves. Yet, we have government agencies set to oversight quality assurance. So how better can we remedy the situation? Or is addressing the sugar crisis in Kenya a chase after the winds? The question is mine, the answer Herman Manyora has it. And welcome to this particular edition of Business Glide, your informative show on matters public policy, economics and business at large. Today, hosted by yours truly, Richard Mwenja. And right now, let's get into the discussion. Herman Manyora.
Yes.
Great to see you, sir.
Good.
In your signature floral shirt.
Yes.
You need to get another pair, though.
I have many of these. You think it's the one?
You only have one.
No, they are the same.
And the other one that people say is so ugly.
And you see, I'm writing something. I'm supposed to have released it today on the Nairobi Review website, where I'm saying Kenyans are spending so much money on clothes. If you go in this developed country, somebody has just one suit. It's called a business suit. Then 2 or 3 shirts.
Even the rich?
Yeah. Why do you need a wardrobe of what for? That's we are spending natural resources on useless things. Somebody has 10, 15 suits. What for? Just have 1 or 2 suits.
Building the local textile industry.
No, which one? These are all imported plastic things we call suits.
Very well.
Yes.
Straight into today's conversation, you're talking matters the sugar crisis, and you've seen the soaring prices of sugar on our shelves out there. But even before we get to the author of this problem, revelations have been made of how condemned sugar made way into our shelves, that which had been told it should be done away with. And a number of people have been suspended. 27 officials from different state agencies, KEBS included, led by the former MD, Bernard Njiraini. So, sir, this is not the first time we are seeing impure sugar making way into our shelves. And we have officials therein. Would you say, from the start, how we appoint such officials to be in charge of institutes such as KEBS is now the big problem, politically rewarding people into such positions?
I don't think that's the problem. No. The problem is deeper. That's just surface problem. The problem is Kenya. The problem is Kenyans. We have made money to be everything.
At the altar of people's health?
A Kenya, you can give him money and he runs away, leaving you to rape his mother. That's just how bad it is. We elevated money to where it doesn't belong. So money is everything to Kenyans. So somebody can allow poison into the country just because he'll make money. The shorty roads we are seeing is our engineers, our own air students, who are putting their signatures on the document, that
approvals,
certificate of completion. They are our children. They are not Chinese. They are our own children, our own brothers. So we've elevated money to a place where it doesn't belong. And this is not a global problem. This is a problem shared by few primitive people in the world, not everybody.
And not here.
A Kenyan thinks money is everything, which we will never solve the problems of this country before you solve that one problem.
Before you solve that one problem.
Yeah, that money is not everything.
But don't you think this fast action that has been made by President Ruto, we've seen the suspension of a number of officials under the health ministry. Now we are seeing him take action on agencies, KEBS, we are seeing also KRO officials, and all those involved in the channel of what goods come into our market. Do you think now that he has suspended the top tier people, that finally he's inspiring confidence among taxpayers?
I don't think so much. Of course, yes, he scores political mileage, and I did a video, I think, on that. You see what? The people you bring will also want to become fat. So they will also look for opportunities to do exactly what these ones who have left have done.
Not fearing being suspended too?
No.
Or sacking?
You know, this suspension, I laugh. If someone has eaten 800 million, he needs time to go and eat the money. So when you relieve him of his duties, you have done a very good thing.
A blessing in disguise.
Yeah, when you sack me when I have taken 1 billion shillings, you are doing a very good. I should be clapping for you. Because I need time to travel across the world to use the money.
Intelligence of thieves?
Yeah. So if someone has stolen and you suspend him, or even relieve him of his duties, he's very happy. He has money to now go and do his own business, to travel, to holiday, to enjoy generally, and grow the money. What have you done? You've done nothing.
You've done
nothing. It's not deterrent.
we should actually get higher ideals.
If you are telling me, before sacking these people, the government had done sufficient investigations. They were arrested in the morning, in the afternoon they were in court, the following day they were in committee. Which is quite possible, because this is an open and shut, open and close. It's a very simple, straightforward things. If there was contaminated sugar in certain place, there's somebody who released it. And the process of releasing must be leaving footprints behind, traces. And the different players must have shared the loot through payments, perhaps already through bank accounts. We've seen it in this country. You get 400 million, you send to Kim Tai 20 through a bank. It is there. It is there.
The records are there.
The records are there. Then you send to this guy 10 million. Then you give me 60. This is a case you just do one afternoon and you saw the serious fraud office UK with a chicken gets scandal. They quickly finalized that thing and people are jailed and they are finished their jail terms. Here we have not even moved.
But then again, the same breath, we've seen the agencies that are probing the matter flout the names of 2 members of parliament and also 2 senior government officials. And it begs the question, does it mean that to be a legislator in Kenya, it guarantees you so much immunity that you can do away with such?
I've not heard. Have they mentioned people?
They have mentioned.
Names?
Not names, but investigation has been done and they have pinned at least 2 members of parliament. So that's why I'm asking, does becoming an MP guarantee one to do away with so much?
That's part of the reason why people look for political power. To be able to insulate themselves.
Not serve the people?
No, to insulate. If you have stolen and you get political power, you know with that power, you may protect that which you have stolen. It's part of it.
Part of it.
Part of it.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has shown us and sort of displayed how the Kenya Defence Forces does its job with utmost precision. Perhaps why he appointed people like General Badi to head some of our sectors under the public. Also, we've seen Kenya Bureau of Standards come under the stewardship of Lieutenant Colonel retired Bernard Njiraini. Would you say that many thought Njiraini will turn around the situation at KEBS? We have seen such situations happen over and over again. Is that we are exaggerating our confidence on people who've been from the disciplined forces?
First of all, Richard, suspending Njiraini doesn't mean Njiraini has anything against him. You know, sometimes the question of taking responsibility. So I don't want to say anything about Njiraini because my support and confidence in the judiciary is well known, in the military is well known. I believe the army is made up of men and women who, when given a job, they can do it well. So, but there's always a one rotten apple. So even Njiraini is a rotten apple, I don't know. But I suspect this thing, there is more than meets the eye. You've seen in social media, so much is going on. For now, it may not be a good time
to delve into
to talk about Njiraini, whether actually he was part of the mess or whether he just is a sacrificial lamb.
It could be the case.
Yeah.
But then again, if you go down memory lane, there was a time Mumia's Sugar Company was a towering state corporation, and also even those other millers like Chemelil Sugar, they were towering. And yes. At the time, we were not experiencing sugar crisis, or even at the least, we didn't see such a soaring price of sugar then. If you look at us looking at potential ways to revive our sugar industry and revitalizing it, where then does that journey start? So that we get back to the times where any Kenyan could afford sugar, and at least sugar from locally produced, not imported through our borders, porous borders. You
know, sugar was a quick cash cow. And the sugar has made billionaires in this country. Many of them you know. Some of them are featured in scandals, discussions, even in court. So you need to go back to the genesis. And the problems are many. You need to rope in COMESA. For example, if we allowed COMESA sugar may be cheaper than you may think. We've been pushing the implementation of the COMESA rule to allow others in the name of protecting our industry. Now, when you come back to the sugar industry, again, it's important to be honest with ourselves. One, places like Mumias, for example, the land size. When this thing was started in 1974-75, the average land size available for sugar growing could have been 10-15 acres, maybe around there, 5-10. Now, that man has since subdivided the land into to his children, who in turn are now subdivided into their offsprings. So we must also accept that there isn't much land available for sugar production in Western Kenya. Secondly, the soils have been depleted to the point that the kind of husbandry you require to be able to reap maximum from the production is not available to the Kenyan farmer. So how much do you produce per hectare compared to Madagascar, for example? It's a joke. You just laugh. So we need to rethink the growing zones of sugar. Where do you want to grow sugar?
Probably go the Galana Kulalu, but now
something like that, commercial, with irrigation, borrowing a leaf from the lead sugar producers in the world. What do they do? And what do we do with the farmers who have been depending on sugar? But even after you have done that, since sugar is still a cash cow, you need to deal with illegal imports. People flouting the regulations, rules of origin. So sugar will come from Uganda, for example, and it must be coming from Uganda, but then it will have come from another place. Also. It takes you back to people, to how people made money in Mumias. People get sugar from Brazil cheaply. It comes into the country. They repackage you using Mumias
bags.
Yeah, and there are people we know, they are running around here. One of them is my friend. He keeps boasting of having a house in Runda and two in Karen.
But we have government just at the borders. KRA is there.
Which
border security is there.
I have told you, we will have to start somewhere as a country. Until we get to a point where we know what money is, and that money is not everything, this country will come to a standstill one time. It is quite possible that in this country, poison can come via food. And before we realize what is happening, 1 million people are dead. 500,000 people are dead. 200,000. Then we'll ask ourselves, where did this thing start? How could we allow ourselves to be the guinea pigs, where people just, if they want to experiment on something, if people have the expired goods in their countries, they are looking for a market, it will have to be Kenya. How did we get here?
Another massacre.
And the answer will be simple. It is money. Today we are asking about Shakahola. Everybody is wondering, how could something of that magnitude, of that scale, take place? And the people who are in charge were not seeing, from the assistant chief,
all the way to the intelligence.
All the way the intelligence, the police, how? It is money. So until we sort out this issue as a national crisis, we need to go to engage overdrive gear to make Kenyans know money is not everything. To the extent that we think money is everything, Kenyans will continue doing outrageous things to themselves. So when you talk about sugar coming into the country, it's not the only thing. It is people want to make money. Every time when I was growing up, you'd hear we are importing sugar, one, because we have deficit. I went to an international conference and asked them, who established the deficit?
We did.
Ask them, whoever established it. Everybody was tongue-tied. I asked the people making that noise about deficit, when was it ever carried out? Table it here, nothing. Secondly, they would always close factories, all of them in the country, for maintenance. So during that time, people will make a kill because they'll be allowed to import sugar. Then I asked myself, why would you close all factories at the same time?
Under the ban of maintenance.
Why would you close before you have sufficient stocks to last the time? All these questions have never been answered. And it's just about people making money. So this country will have to decide, do they want to allow money to take us into ruin? Or do you want to arrest a few people, jail them, and also make Kenyans understand that money is not everything?
Very well. Correct. Then again, justify the rise in prices of sugar. Importers have actually attributed that to the high and they just risen landing cost. And the government is trying to make a killing out of taxation just so to grow itself into prosperity. Do you think going and looking at the taxation around key products such as sugar, maize, is a front that Kenya really needs to be serious about? That's not just maize, but also sugar, because right now a kilo is retailing at over 200 shillings. Do you think that importers are justified to say that it's because of the rising in landing cost?
First of all, we don't know why they're importing. Does it mean you don't have sufficient sugar in the country?
Yeah, they say we have experienced a shortage, a deficit as a country.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I am not so sure that there's a shortage of sugar. There's a deficit. That one I'm not sure. So, you see, taxation is, if you follow the history of taxation, how did it start? Why is it necessary? Sometimes you don't even need the money as a country. So you impose higher taxes to discourage people from bringing goods to your country, goods which you can produce. But sometimes you tax because you need the revenue. So a government is always balancing. How much tax do we levy and why do we levy? Is it because we need the money? Is it because we want to discourage? So it's the mandarins at treasury
Need to
who
strike
are
a
supposed
balance.
to do the balancing. But if you just go taxes that because you found somebody taxing, because Jomo Kenyatta was taxing,
Sugar.
Moi took over and he was taxing, and everybody, no! You must sit down and ask yourself, what is the point in levying taxes on this product? Is it the revenue we want? Or is it to discourage dumping
Into Kenya.
and therefore protect local? This is an age-old thing. Countries tax for different reasons. Sometimes they don't need the revenue. Sometimes they need the revenue. So you cannot take over from Moi and you're a Kibaki and just continue levying the same taxes Moi was levying. Times have changed. There are new cooperation agreements between states. WTO is coming up with different, regimes and the protocols. So those in the treasury are the ones to figure out.
Very well put.
Yes.
Then again, as we come to the tail of the conversation, we've seen a number of legal minds and also voices of reason in Kenya propose that it is high time the government does away with the Kenya Bureau of Standards. The same way you're saying we should do away with the NHIF. Do you think us shutting down KEBS and coming up with a better agency will be more of the geese that will lay the golden egg?
So you just change the name. It's not about KEBS. It's not about the name. It's not even about the people. It's a national culture.
To address quality assurance?
But some of these guys are very well trained. You can't even get others like them very easily. They're well trained. The institution is well equipped. KEBS is not a small institution. It is well equipped. Very few countries can stand up and say we want to rival KEBS of Kenya. They can, even if they are looking for business outside, instead of stealing this money here, instead of being bribed, they should be looking for businesses outside. Because there are countries who want people to do this job for them. Just like people do things for us. When cars are incoming, there should be something called SGG, SSG, SG, something like that.
Or even elections for us.
Yeah, and there's another one, it's called what? There are people who if goods are coming into the country, we don't have to inspect them ourselves. We trust those institutions that have already inspected in Dubai or Japan. KEBS can bid for such a jobs international and get billions of monies.
We have the capacity.
KEBS has the capacity to do wonderful things.
It only
KEBS can work for most of these African countries. KEBS can work for them and make billions of money. That's why I'm saying the problem with this country, everybody is looking for quick money. The second problem is people don't think. Because we think just about anybody can do any job. So if you had men and women who can think, and they look at the capacity of KEBS, this is something you can use to bring in billions of money into this country because of their capacity. You know what I'm saying? But to the extent that everybody is chasing little squirrels in terms of little monies, we can never think big. So even if you change the name, even if you remove
Jiraini banner.
yeah, and bring the person who sits there, the first day anapiga simu.
Now Estangari is there, has replaced Njeri.
Watu wanaanza kukuuliza, lakini sasa unajua hapa kuna kazi hapa, unajua Jioni leo kwa club, they tell you are stupid. Let us start with this. By the way, let me. No, you called your procurement officer. Mwambie atakuja hapa saa hii.
Mbio.
So, changing cabs, the name,
suspending people,
removing people, suspending them won't help. It may send a signal, but it's a weak signal.
They are yet to get a substantive managing director. Now Estangari is in the acting capacity. Do you think Herman Manyora can do that job?
No, I'm too senior for such small jobs.
Too senior for such?
Yeah,
you said you're too senior for KEMSA, now too senior for KEBS.
These are small jobs.
What do you want
for
then?
small people like you.
Very well. You have heard it from Herman Manyora dispensing nuggets of wisdom on how better Kenya can address the sugar crisis, and also how we can step up our efforts with regards to quality assurance on what Kenyans are consuming out here at a time when revelations have been made on how contraband sugar has made way into our shelves, and not just sugar, many other products. It has come out in the public domain. We wait to see what the government will do about it, and also the integrity of Kenyan entrepreneurs with regards to such. Time now for Fun of the Week, and it is none other than this gentle kid called Julius Wanjala in Berlin, Germany.
Julius Wanjala from Berlin, Germany.
Yeah, sure.
Formerly East Germany. Wanjala, thank you for being part of us.
They say they're going to visit us and just watch some of our...
That'll be wonderful.
That will be wonderful.
We welcome them.
We welcome them.
Yes.
And their support too, right?
Yeah.
Very well. Until next time on Business Glide, I'm yours truly, Richard Mwenjo. Up next on your screen is the Business Glide African Proverb of the Day.